Amen. One may not sow the land. What happens in the year of Shemitah? Now look how all this works. What is Shemitah? The land Shabbat. The Shabbat the land has a Shabbat. How many years? Every what? Hello?
7 years.
The land has a Shabbat every what?
7
years. Wait a second. So in the 7th year, the Torah says, when we return to the land, we cannot sow. Correct? We can reap. Can we not reap in the sabbatical? Yes. We could reap what we've sowed when? The other 6 years, the land rests, we can reap, but we can't sow. With the mitzvah of Orlah, listen, we can sow, but we can't reap. Hello? So the principle is, what Yahweh is saying here, when one commits the mitzvah or performs the mitzvah of Orlah, he is forever, inexplicably tied to the land. When one plants a tree, a fruit-bearing tree, and he knows that it will not benefit him personally for 3 years, listen, it is an extension of emunah. What is emunah? Faith. That you are proclaiming a faith, a belief, that either if you live in Israel, you are going to remain there long enough to eat from the tree. Yahweh is looking for a commitment from you to an Israelite lifestyle and an Israelite residence in the land of your forefathers. So the act of planting and not reaping, planting and not eating, is an act of faith that you're not just going to talk a Israelite game, you're going to show up every Shabbat, whether you're sick like a dog, a cat, or a cucumber. Whether you have diarrhea or your flood has been stopped. Whether you feel good, bad, or ugly. You're going to be faithful to the Moadim. You're going to be faithful to Shabbat. You're going to be faithful to Yahweh's people, because Yahweh needs you there for the good of the community, not just for your own good.
Amen.
You may get nothing out of the message. You may get nothing out of the worship. But the fact that there are people in this room that don't have a friend all week that they can talk to, and they come and see you and you smile at them, you're the first person all week to give them a hug. You're the first person all week to smile at them because their boss told them they were a jerk. Their mama told them they were a jerk. They already know they're kind of jerky to begin with. You're the first person that cheered them up from 6 days of miserable existence. So the principle of Orlah is a principle that the born-again Christians, or the NTOC, New Testament only Christians, don't get. Because after all, between 9 and 12, the trick is to see how many services we can push through in one morning. Will you please explain to me how you can do a service in an hour? It takes me an hour to pour my cup of water. Or in this case, araham. An hour? It takes Brian an hour to warm up. These guys are doing 4 services, 1 hour. Where's the heart? Where's the passion? Where's the lifestyle? Yeah, I confess Jesus in my heart. I confess Jesus. En mi corazón, sí. ¿Tú confesas? ¿Tú también te bragas por la pastora? No. Preparado y trabaja por pastor, tú. Celebrar Shavuot? No. Yo lee a Shavuot, pero no preparado. So the principle of Orlah is a principle for Israel to do mitzvot for others.
Amen.
You plant the tree and let somebody else eat your fruit. You deliver the food and let somebody else benefit by your mitzvah. Does this make sense? when one plants in the land, listen, and they live in the land, like our friend here, okay, who made Aliyah, nice Jewish boy. Figareto, fig tree. We'll talk about the fig tree in a little while. Okay. When this boy made Aliyah, now if he plants in the land, literally in his farm, in his backyard, in his house, or behind his house, whatever, right? Turn to there and say whatever. Let's try that again. Whatever. That must mean, well, time out. That must mean he plans on staying there to watch that tree grow. So that planting of a tree that he and his family cannot eat from for how many years? 3 years is a proclamation that I am Israel, that I have come back to the land of Israel, and now I am living in the land of Israel. P.S. I'm not moving or relocating, or when things get tough, I'm not returning to the United States. I'm going to stay in the land of Israel. So the proclamation of the tree, the planting of the tree, is a proclamation of my permanence and my faithfulness to my calling. Are we on? Let's try it again. Are we on?
Amen.
We're on. In other words, in order to plant a tree and live in Israel and not eat from it for 3 years, you got to say, I'm going to be around when this tree blossoms so that I can get a chance to eat from it, not just others. So what are you saying? You're in for the long haul. You're going to be in the land of Israel for the long haul, not on a visa, but to live permanently. When you plant something and you don't touch it for 3 years, that means you got to be around the 4th year to deal with it or to eat from it. But the 4th year, you don't even get to eat from it. You don't even get to eat from the tree if you're doing this mitzvah. This mitzvah of Orlah is primarily for those that are in the land, but it can also be for those like us in the exile, and those like us that are outside the land. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. When we plant in the land, and we are not in the land, can we fulfill this mitzvah? Can you and I, who are not in Israel, can we fulfill this mitzvah? Yes, we can. Well, when you come into the land, or before you come into the land, can we fulfill this mitzvah? Absolutely we can. How? Listen. When we plant trees in the land of Israel, right? What are we declaring? What are we stating? What kind of statement are we making? We say, number one, we fulfill the Torah command of Orlah, planting, but I know I can't eat it for 3 years. P.S. It's bad news, it's worse than that. You can't even eat it for 4 years. Because the 4th year, Yahweh gets to eat. Are we on? Hello? Yes. Are we on?
Amen.
Are we going? Yes. Whoa. So wait a second. If you and I are preparing trees in the land, fruit trees, planting trees, we're not only declaring that we walk by emunah and not by sight, we're declaring that this is not our home, that the exile is not our home, that the diaspora is not our home, that we are outside of our home, and we're planting in hope, we're sowing in hope that one day either we will reap in newness of life, or if not us, our children will eat what you and I have planted. Yes. Are you planting trees in the land of Israel? Yes. You can if you want to fulfill this mitzvah. Even if you don't live in Israel, you could plant trees as a statement that I may or may not get to eat of the fruit of the land, but 5, 6, 7, 9, 10 years from now, when eating is what? Permitted, my children will eat the fruit of the land. Don't you love this? So we read this in the Torah. Well, I live in this doesn't apply to me. I live in Havana, Pequeña. I'm in Little Haiti here in Miami. What does this mean to me? Amen? What it means is that all Torah, Yeshua said, heaven and earth will pass away before one jot or tittle passes from the Torah. Before one yud passes from the Torah. Before one nekudah passes from the Torah. Heaven and earth will pass away first. Meaning, as long as heaven and earth are in existence, every yud and every nekudah is still in effect. Make sense? Here's an opportunity for you to fulfill a mitzvah. When you plant trees in Israel, you are fulfilling the eternal mitzvah of Orlah. Turn to your neighbor and say Orlah.
Orlah.
Let's try it again. It didn't sound good. Orlah.
Orlah.
Orlah. The pioneering generations of the land of Israel did a lot of what? Planting, sowing with tears, with the belief that Yahweh would one day bring Jewish Israel home as part of the process of redemption, which will flower into mature fruit that can be eaten before Yahweh. The mitzvah of settling the land does not only involve conquering the land, but settling it for future generations. Planting trees, fruit trees, fulfills this mitzvah, listen, which obligates Yisrael to cultivate the land and not to leave it desolate. Amen? There is no mitzvah, listen, to plant fruit trees anywhere on earth but in Israel. You could read the Bible from backwards and forwards, from Bereshit to Revelation, brothers and sisters. There is nowhere we are commanded to work the land, to plant the land, to grow the trees of the land, other than in the land of Israel. You know why? Because this is not our home. That's our home. Make sense? Don't you plant where you live? So by planting and by obeying the mitzvah, what are we declaring? We are not home yet. Amen? What's our home? It's called Beulah land. What is the name Beulah? Not like TBN. Beulah land! Crank up the music. Let's have church. No. It's not Beulah land, honey. As if Beulah land came from Texas or Tennessee.
Oh, you ain't right.
Beulah land means a married land. We are the bride of Yeshua.
Amen.
If that is the married land, that means the bridegroom wants to eat. What are we going to give him? We all give him my praises. That's good. What else are we supposed to do? Give him the fruit of the land. What is Bikurim all about? Giving Yahweh the first fruits, the first 10% of our grain, our produce. Bikurim is all about. That means feeding Yahweh, the bridegroom, giving him his offering before we eat ourselves. Isn't that what Yom HaBikurim is all about? Giving Yahweh his food before we eat our food? Seek ye first, Bikurim, the kingdom of Yahweh and his righteousness, Matthew 6:33, and all these things will be added to you. Feed Yahweh. How do you feed Yahweh? You give him his time. You give him his fruit. You give him his worship. You give him his produce. Yahweh is hungry for your produce. So the mitzvah of Orlah, people, it's just one of those things in the Torah that we just can't do today. Come on, can we talk? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Oh, we just can't do. I don't know what that means. I'll ask my pastor. Please don't. I hope none of you still have a pastor. I hope you, like me, have an ex.
Yes.
How many of you have an ex-pastor?
Yes. Hallelujah.
Oh, man. Now you got a rabbi. We're stuck with each other. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Planting fruit trees, listen, fulfills the mitzvah which obligates Am Yisrael to cultivate the land and not to leave it desolate. You and I are called to make Eretz Yisrael Eretz Avat Chalav, Chalav Udvash, Eretz Avat Chalav, Chalav Udvash, Eretz Avat Chalav, a land flowing with milk and honey. P.S. Yahweh is not a bee. Yahweh is not going to produce the honey. Yahweh is not a father bee or a mother bee. When Yahweh calls Israel the land flowing with milk and honey, he's waiting for you to fulfill the Mitzvah of Orlah. You may not be able to go there now, but you could plant fruit trees in Israel and make a statement that one day, how long? Not long. How long? Not long.
Hallelujah.
One day, I'll know my roots, my family will know my roots, they'll all know they're Israel, and they will return.
Amen.
A great congregation returning here. In that day, Yirmiyahu 31:1, Yahweh will be the king and the father of all the families in Israel. Somebody.
Hashem Yahweh.
Well, I don't know, Rabbi. My budget calls for coupons. Right now, I'm using my coupons to buy me some coffee. Well, here's something radical. Give up coffee for 2 weeks and plant some fruit trees so your children, when they return, can have some honey and milk to have. That's pretty radical. What a radical Yahweh. Unlike the NTOC, you don't got to do nothing. Did you walk the aisle 20 years ago? You're saved, your grandma's saved, your children are saved. You mean everybody's saved? Yeah, because you walked the aisle. You confessed. That's not faith. That's a mental assent to a set of doctrines.
Yes. Hallelujah.
You want to be like Yeshua, you're going to have to go to synagogue. You're going to have to keep the Moedim.
Amen.
You're going to have to be concerned about the land, not just your backyard in Brooklyn. You're going to have to be concerned about the land of Israel.
Amen.
Yahweh says, my eyes never stop staring
Oh, yes.
at the land, day and night, night and day. My heart, my mind, my eyes never stop staring at the land of Israel. That's why it's beautiful land, Be'olah. Yahweh is married to the land and to the people. Not just to the people, but to the people and the land. And if we're Israel, we're going to have the same affection for the land as he does. We don't always have to agree with politics. We don't always have to agree with Labor versus Likud. Hello? But we have to be married to the land. And if you're not there yet and you can't plant the trees, send someone else and they'll plant those trees for you. Trees? Rabbi, we should be talking about the blood of Yeshua. We should be talking about the resurrection of the righteous. We should be talking about the rapture. Not here, honey. You have to find you're gonna have to find somewhere else to talk about the rapture. That's an anti-Semitic doctrine if there ever was one. Ephraim flies away and the Jews get zapped again, as if Hitler's Holocaust wasn't enough. We're just gonna have to go through another tribulation until we're totally wiped out. Then the church will be the new Israel because there won't be any Jews. There won't be any other Israelites alive except the church. So then that'll prove their doctrine that they are the new Israel, sent to replace those Jews, the old Israel. Sorry, it don't work that way. It's Judah and Ephraim, one in Messiah.
Yes.
No one replacing anyone, each one taking their rightful place as heirs in the kingdom of Yahweh. So,
Amen. Hallelujah.
Hashem Yahweh.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Hashem Yahweh.
There, Yahweh has not commanded us to plant trees to produce fruit anywhere except one place on earth, the land of Israel. And usually, honestly, why does one plant trees? Why does a farmer plant? Why? For a livelihood. Isn't that the whole purpose of most purposes of planting? To earn a livelihood? But as Israel, we don't plant to earn a livelihood. We plant regardless of our profession. Plumbers plant. Locksmiths plant. Train engineers plant. Messengers plant. In Israel, you plant whether you're an agriculturalist, a botanist, or any other kind of ist. How many trees have you planted? How is Israel going to become a land flowing with milk and honey when Yahweh calls us to produce the milk and the honey? You understand what I'm saying? Is there a honey river in Israel that we can drink honey? Is there a milk fountain that we can just go put our mouth and drink milk? Those are metaphors for what you are expected to do, to turn the desolate places into a garden, like the garden of Adam and Chava. You see, Yahweh's married to the land, and he says, because I'm married to it, you dress it up. Because I'm married to you, I'll dress you up, and I'll take away the garment of what? Heaviness, and give you the garments of salvation.
Yes.
I will give you the garments of joy and praise for the garments of mourning and ashes. So it's up to us to dress the land. Who was in charge of dressing Gan Eden? Did Yahweh dress Gan Eden, or was it up to Adam and Chava to dress Gan Eden? It was up to Adam and Chava, right? To dress Gan Eden. Same with the land. Yeah, but you don't understand. I live right off the Palmetto. No, you don't understand. Even though you're living off the Palmetto, you plan on your children and grandchildren and great-great-great-grandchildren forever living off the exit on the Palmetto? If you do, you don't have the heart of the Father, and you're not married to Orlah, the land of Israel. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. I said Baruch Hashem Yahweh. What I really meant was Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Just as Yahweh, listen, at the beginning of creation, planted the Garden of Eden, Gan Eden, so too Yisrael must plant and dress the Garden of Yisrael. Even though it's desolate, even though there are Arabs, even though there are Edomites, even though there are bomb scares, even though there are terrorists, even though, Yahweh says, are you dressing my bride? You see how this Torah speaks of something totally different? Not like plant trees, fruit trees, and don't eat for 3 years? Father, this is not a good plan to beef up my skinny frame. This is not a good plan to beef up my petite frame. I gotta eat to beef up. Now he says, no. In Israel we plan for others. Philippians says you are to seek and count others better than yourself. It is more blessed to plant trees in Israel than to keep hoarding it upon your own flesh. Let those Jews who are paying the price and are at the point of a gun and at the barrel of death every day, let them live, let them prosper, and plan for them. Sow for them. Does this make sense? I said, does this make sense?
Yes.
Amen.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. We learn from this Orlah that planting a tree in Eretz Yisrael is in essence, listen, not just an act of emunah or faith. We learn that it is cleaving to Yahweh's character, is it not?